In 2022, a man named David walked into a car dealership to buy a reliable vehicle to get to work. He walked out with a $72,000 loan that would haunt him for the next 7 years. By 2026, David owed $28,000 on a car that was only worth $19,000. He was trapped. He could not sell it, he could not trade it. Every month, $650 left his bank account, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. David is not alone. Right now, in April 2026, Americans owe $1.66 trillion in auto loan debt, and millions of them are in the exact same situation as David, underwater, stuck, paying for a mistake they made years ago. Today, I am going to tell you David's story, and through his story, you will see exactly how the car loan trap works, how ordinary people get convinced to sign contracts they do not understand, and how you can avoid becoming the next David. David's first mistake. David was 32 years old when he decided he needed a new car. His old sedan had 200,000 miles on it. The check engine light was on. The transmission was slipping. He knew it was only a matter of time before it died completely. So one Saturday morning, he drove to a dealership near his house. He was not planning to buy that day. He just wanted to look, maybe test drive a few options, get a sense of what was out there. But the moment he stepped onto the lot, a salesman approached him, friendly, smiling, asking questions. What kind of car are you looking for? What is your budget? Do you have kids? The salesman was good at his job. He listened to David talk about his life, his commute, his need for something reliable. Then he walked David over to a brand new SUV, fully loaded, leather seats, backup camera, heated steering wheel. "This is perfect for you," the salesman said. "Safe, reliable, great for families." David sat in the driver's seat. He gripped the steering wheel. He imagined himself driving it. And in that moment, something shifted in his brain. He wanted it. The salesman saw it too. He suggested a test drive. David agreed. They drove around the neighborhood. The car was smooth, quiet, comfortable. David started picturing himself owning it. By the time they got back to the dealership, David was no longer just looking. He was ready to buy. The numbers game. Back at the dealership, the salesman took David to his desk. He pulled out a piece of paper and wrote down some numbers. The car was listed at $55,000. David's heart sank. That was way more than he wanted to spend. But the salesman quickly jumped in. "Do not worry about the total price," he said. "Let us talk about what you can afford per month. What is your budget?" David thought for a moment. He was making about $70,000 a year. After rent, utilities, and bills, he figured he could afford maybe $500 a month. The salesman smiled. "I can make that work." He ran to the back office, came back 5 minutes later. "Good news," he said. "I talked to my manager. We can get you into this car for $595 a month." David hesitated. That was a little more than he wanted, but the salesman kept talking. "Think about it. You're spending money on gas and repairs for your old car anyway. This payment includes a warranty, no repair costs, no surprise expenses. You're actually saving money." David's brain did the math. $595 a month. That was about $20 a day. He spent more than that on lunch. It felt doable. "Okay," he said. "Let's do it." The salesman slid a contract across the desk. David signed. He did not read the fine print. He did not ask about the interest rate. He did not calculate the total cost. He just signed. And in that moment, David locked himself into 72 months of payments, 6 years at 6.8% interest. By the time he finished, the car would cost him over $72,000. But David didn't know that. All he knew was that he was driving home in a brand new SUV. The first year. For the first few months, David felt great. He loved his new car. He loved how it looked, how it drove, how people looked at him when he pulled up. But then reality started to set in. His monthly payment was $595, but insurance was another $220. Gas was about $150. Registration fees hit him with another $400 in the first year. Suddenly, his affordable car payment was costing him almost $1,000 a month, and that was just the beginning. 1 year after buying the car, David got curious. He wondered what his car was worth now. He went online to Kelley Blue Book. He typed in the year, make, and model. The website told him his car was worth $41,000. David froze. He had paid $55,000 for it 1 year ago. He lost $14,000 in value in 12 months. But it got worse. He logged into his loan account to see how much he still owed. He had been making payments for a year. Surely he had made a dent. The balance said $48,500. He had paid over $7,000 in payments, but his loan balance had only dropped by $6,500. The rest went to interest. David did the math in his head. He owed $48,500. The car was worth $41,000. He was $7,500 underwater, and he still had 5 more years of payments left. The realization. David started researching. He wanted to understand what had happened. How did he end up here? That's when he learned about depreciation. New cars lose 20 to 30% of their value in the first year, another 15% in year 2, another 10% in year 3. But on a 72-month loan, you only pay down about 12% of the principal per year. The rest is interest. This creates an equity gap. The car loses value faster than you pay off the loan. And for the first 3 to 4 years of ownership, you're underwater. You owe more than it's worth. David also learned about the tricks dealerships use, the 4-square method, where they confuse you with multiple variables, the time pressure close, where they make you think the deal will disappear, the monthly payment focus, where they hide the total cost. He realized he had fallen for all of it. He felt stupid, angry, trapped. But what could he do? He needed the car. He needed it to get to work, and even if he wanted to sell it, he couldn't, because if he sold it for $41,000, he would still owe the bank $7,500. He didn't have that money, so he kept making payments, month after month, year after year, watching the value of his car drop while his loan balance barely moved. The breaking point. By 2025, David had been making payments for 3 years. He had paid over $21,000, but he still owed $33,000, and his car was now worth about $28,000. He was still $5,000 underwater. Then in early 2026, his transmission started making a noise. He took it to a mechanic. The repair would cost $4,000. The warranty had expired. David didn't have $4,000. He was barely keeping up with his monthly payments as it was. He felt the walls closing in. He started looking at his options. Could he sell the car? No, he was still underwater. Could he trade it in? Technically, yes, but the dealer would roll the $5,000 negative equity into a new loan. He would be starting over, deeper in debt than before. Could he refinance? He called his bank. They told him his interest rate might drop slightly, but it wouldn't solve the underwater problem. He was stuck, completely stuck. The car that was supposed to give him freedom had become a prison. Every month, $600 left his account, and there was no end in sight. This is what $1.66 trillion in auto loan debt looks like. It's not just a number. It's millions of people like David, trapped in loans they can't escape, paying for cars that are worth less than they owe, living paycheck to paycheck because a dealership convinced them they could afford it. So, what did David do? He made a hard choice. He sold the car. He listed it online for $28,000. Someone bought it. He used that money to pay down the loan, but he still owed $5,000. He didn't have it, so he took out a personal loan for $5,000 at 12% interest. It wasn't ideal, but it was better than staying trapped. He used that money to pay off the car loan. Then he bought a used Honda Civic with cash for $8,000. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't new, but it was paid off. And for the first time in 3 years, David did not have a car payment. He still had the $5,000 personal loan to pay off, but the monthly payment was only $150, and he could pay it off in 3 years if he stayed disciplined. David learned his lesson. He would never finance a car again, and he would never trust a dealership to tell him what he could afford. But not everyone can do what David did. Not everyone has the option to sell and take a loss. So what do you do if you're trapped right now? Option 1. If you have savings, use them to pay down the loan until you're no longer underwater. Then sell the car and get out. Option 2, if you don't have savings, lock down your budget. Cut every expense you can. Attack the loan as hard as possible. Pay extra every month. Get out as fast as you can. Option 3, trade in for a much cheaper car. Yes, you'll roll negative equity into the new loan, but if you trade down significantly, your monthly payment will drop, and you can work your way out over time. Option 4, if you're completely drowning and have no other options, voluntary repossession. Give the car back. Your credit score will tank, but you'll be free of the payment. This is the nuclear option. Only use it if there is no other way. How to never become David. If you're shopping for a car right now, here's exactly what you need to do. Step 1. Get pre-approved financing from your own bank before you go to the dealership. Know your rate, know your terms. Do not let the dealer control the financing. Step 2. Calculate the all-in cost. Car payment plus insurance plus gas plus maintenance plus registration. Add it all up. That's your real monthly cost. Step 3. Follow the 24-10 rule. 20% down, 4-year loan maximum. Total monthly cost below 10% of your gross income. If you can't follow that rule, you can't afford the car. Step 4. Do not fall for the monthly payment trick. Always ask for the total price, the interest rate, the length of the loan.
Do the math yourself. Do not trust the dealership to do it for you. Step 5. Walk away if it does not feel right. You are not obligated to buy. You can leave at any time. The best deal is sometimes the one you do not make. And finally, understand this. A car is not an investment. It is not an asset. It is an expense. It loses value the moment you drive it off the lot. Do not treat it like something that will make you money. Treat it like the tool it is. And if you do that, you will never end up like David. David's story is not unique. It is happening to millions of people right now. $1.66 trillion in debt, 72-month loans, 84-month loans, people paying for cars they cannot afford because a salesman convinced them the monthly payment was doable. But now you know. You know how the trap works. You know how to avoid it. And if you are already in it, you know how to get out. Take action today, not tomorrow, today. Calculate what you owe. Calculate what your car is worth. Figure out your options and make a plan. If this video just saved you from making the same mistake David made, hit that like button, subscribe, share this with someone about to buy a car, because the car industry is counting on you not knowing this. Prove them wrong.